Welcome to the Investor Pitch Deck Masterclass Mini-Series, where I'm walking you through how to create a pitch deck to raise money from investors for your company using 11 simple slides. This is the first of 7 episodes in this mini-series, and it's important to listen to until the end because I explain how I developed these slides, give you a quick overview of each one of the 11 slides so you know what's coming, and then quickly give you 3 pieces of hard-earned advice that will help you make your pitch deck the best it can be. Make sure you check each of the episodes because there are investor pitch deck template worksheets for almost every one of the 11 slides we'll go through. You check the link in the show notes to download them all. They're free. The 11 slides are based on my experience from over 20 years having sat on both sides of the table as an entrepreneur and as an investor. As an entrepreneur, I have 2 exits under my belt so far and have raised money from friends and family, angel investors, and Silicon Valley VC firms. I pitched hundreds of investors over the years and raised millions of dollars. I've also had hundreds of investors say no for many reasons. Some mistakes I've made with the pitches, and some of the companies I totally struck out and had to close down. You get the benefit in this Investor Pitch Deck Masterclass of me giving you the best tips on how to avoid all these entrepreneur and money-raising mistakes. As an investor, I've been a venture capitalist working at 2 venture firms, and these days I'm an angel investor who gets pitched every week by a few aspiring entrepreneurs. Some of these fundraising pitches are good and get funded, some not so good and don't. In this Investor Pitch Masterclass series, we'll go over each of the 11 slides in detail and give you the formula on how to build them. In episodes 6 and 7 of the series, you get tips on what to expect and how to prepare for your pitch meetings. Here are the 11 pitch deck slides we'll be building. Slide number 1. This is your opening slide where you give your elevator pitch. Slide number 2, your problem slide. Slide number 3, your solution slide. Slide number 4, your market slide. Slide number 5, your go-to-market slide. Slide number 6, your traction and milestone slide. Slide number 7, your competition slide. Slide number 8, your financials. Slide number 9, your team slide. Slide number 10, your funding needs. And your final slide, slide 11, your summary slide. The Masterclass series structure. There are a total of 7 episodes in this Masterclass mini-series. You should listen to each episode all the way through to the end first before you actually start doing work. This way you have context and you know what's coming. After you've listened, you can come back to part of each episode to re-listen to it if you need to actually build your slides. You're currently in episode 1 where I'm giving you the overview. In episode 2, we teach you how to build the first 3 slides, which are where you're marketing the why. It is your elevator pitch, your problem slide, and your solution slide. In episode 3, we explain how to build the next 3 slides. This is your edge and where you're marketing your differentiation. It is your market, go-to-market, and competition slides. In episode 4, we build your financial and team slides where you're marketing your engine that's going to build this company. In episode 5, we cover your close, showing you how to build your funding and your summary slide where you close out your pitch deck. In episode 6, we explain how to format and design all of your slides. And then we wrap up in episode 7 with 100 questions you can count on investors asking you at some point during the due diligence process. Now, 3 quick pieces of advice as you jump into making your pitch deck. Number 1, your pitch deck is really a story. While everyone calls what you're building an investor pitch deck, it's really a story, your story, and you want to make it as authentic as possible. I'll give you a template to come up with each slide, but I'm not dictating your words. I'm only giving you a template to fit your words into. You are unique, as is your company, your team, your ideas for the business, and your product or services. Let your light shine through when you're building your pitch deck. The worst thing you can do is try to be something that you're not or guess what you think someone else wants by using buzzwords or some popular slogans. You don't want to be insincere in your pitch deck. That being said, Don't take this advice and go so far outside the norm that what you build here and ultimately present to investors comes across as nuts. I've read pitch decks and been pitched live where entrepreneurs take it way too far. And once you cross that line, you lose credibility and it's almost impossible to recover. There's a difference between letting your voice come through and being so far out there that people just don't get it. You'll have a feel for what I mean as you work through creating your slides. The main takeaway is this: let you come through. Second piece of advice: your pitch deck is a living, breathing thing. Your pitch deck is not static. It's living, it's breathing. It will change with every pitch you give. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your wins, and add and subtract as needed. And don't hesitate tailoring your pitch for each meeting based on the audience. Third piece of advice: this piece of advice comes by way of my grandmother, Vera. We all remember pivotal moments in our lives like they were yesterday, regardless of our age. I'm not sure exactly how old I was at the time, maybe 10 or 11, but my brother and I were walking out the door of my grandmother's house to go somewhere. I remember opening the screen door in the lower portion, catching slightly on the door sill because of the humidity. As the door opened, Maryland's humid summer heat hit us in the face while our backs remained protected by the cool air that my grandparents' window units pumped in the house nonstop from June until the end of August. We were walking up the concrete steps to the car pad, and my grandmother looked up and said, "You know, you can split the clouds apart if you stare at them and direct your energy." I remember looking back at my brother with a, "What the heck is she talking about?" type look, and him curiously shrugging his shoulders. He was about 7 years old and on the brink of learning something new about the world. She stopped us just before the last 3 steps that were steeper than the rest and said, "Look up there right now. Pick a cloud, think hard, and make it your thought that you want that one cloud you picked to split apart." No sooner had I looked up, picked a cloud, and started thinking about it, that stinking cloud broke apart. My brother did the same thing, which again led me to look at him like, what sort of magic does my mom have? Now, to be fair, this was not out of the blue for my grandmother. She was a spiritual woman. She had wisdom and downright mystical power about her that's hard to explain, but anyone who knew her could feel it. She ran a consignment shop, and people from all over the countryside, far and wide, would come to her shop to get their dose of spiritual fulfillment. Anyway, she encouraged us to do it again. And you know what? That next cloud did the same thing. After the second one, she looked at us with confidence and said matter-of-factly, "You can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to believe and channel all of your energy into it. Now, let's get going." My brother and I were amazed. I'm sure you can think back to a time in your life as a kid when you witnessed this sort of magic and you were full of wonder. As I'm sitting here recording this episode long past the time I should have been in bed, I'm shaking my head because I'm sure you're thinking this was a great teaching moment for my grandmother. I've got news for you, as my mom would say. I actually think my grandmother believed without a shadow of a doubt that we moved those clouds. Not because she wasn't an incredibly smart woman and knew how the wind blew the clouds, but because maybe we actually did. That unflinching belief that she had in us instilled a lifelong lesson that you really can do anything you put your mind to if you channel your energy with absolute focus. Remember that as you work through these slides, because it will be challenging, but you can do it. In episode 2 of this masterclass, we cover your elevator pitch, your problem, and your solution slides. Let's go and get your first 3 slides built in the next episode. See you there.